And then this summer he works saves up.
Right. First part, and then you would hit I told my place.
Next to the driveway is where we're starting. Can't stand up, can't sit. Can't rise.
Got 30 seconds. That's it. 30 seconds.
That's all I in charge of walking. Okay, I'm going to stand for the pledge, please. Ricky's got his shoe ready.
Are you ready?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board to order for September 4th, 2012. Get a roll call, please.
Ernie Bassett,
Here.
Thomas Wood,
Here.
Martin Mannix,
Here.
Paul LeMoyne,
Here.
Gerard Renadette,
Here.
James Coffey,
Here.
Rick Collins.
Resolution 253, approving the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of August 20th and August 27th, 2012 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Wood, I think. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to welcome the supervisor back. Hope he got some sun while he was gone. It looks like he might have.
We got sun and avoided hurricanes.
That was the main thing.
Going in that area this time of year, time is always a little bit of a dance. Thank you. It's good to be back. Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood?
Did I say I was here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Martin Mannix?
Oh, yes, oh, that's right.
Yes.
Paul LeMoyne?
Yes.
Gerard Renadette?
Yes.
Ernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. This is the portion of our meeting where we invite the public to make comment if they would like. And we're going to do that this evening as well in a minute because we have something that we want to do first. It's very, very special. And without taking a great deal of time to talk about the grant, the project, we need to acknowledge all of you here present. And I was very pleased when I suggested maybe we could do this at one of our meetings for a number of reasons. So the town board would also be able to participate. This has been a great project in collaboration with the Small Business Development Center and at Plattsburgh State as well as the town. Our goal being to try to find a way to encourage business growth. You maybe learned of many stories. We all know of a few, some local, some more famous names that began with an idea and a great deal of energy and a great deal of enthusiasm, a willingness to adjust your plan sometimes along the way and make things happen. And we've got some entrepreneurs here this evening that applied for a grant through our microenterprise program we were able to get involved with this year. They did an application. There were some requirements. They were vetted. There was an underwriting process, and one of the first big steps, and in many ways it's one of the last steps, the rest of the work will be yours to become successful for us, was to participate in a program, a business essentials program that I thank you very much, Karen. The Small Business Administration jumped up to the plate right away when we needed to find that part of the grant application. And they did that because they had been there and that's what they do. One of the things I've learned these last 7 years at the town is many of the resources that really do exist right here, that unless we look, we don't know. You may have gotten another call today because I had a young lady come to see me, so it looks like you did.
I did.
And she was looking for help to start a business, and I was like, boy, you know, geez, talk about a day late and a dollar short. And I was ready to explain what you all have been through. 30 hours, that took a lot of determination and commitment, we know that. I was about to explain that to her when she explained to me she was going to be building her business in Manhattan. I said, wait a minute. Yeah, we love to help and all, but Manhattan's a little bit of a stretch for me. But I said, she said, well, how much could the town give me to get going? I heard you're helping business. I said, well, you're right. But we can't give you anything because we're helping business grow in the town of Plattsburgh. This is for our community. But I said, there are people, organizations like the Small Business Administration, like our chamber, like other organizations. There are more of these kinds of funding resources. You need to connect with some of the right people. And I wouldn't have known what to do, and I'm not sure if there's any help. We can talk later. But I said, here's a resource we have, may have some ideas for you, because it's still in New York. So there's a lot out there, and tonight you're going to get a certificate. The next big step is some decisions about how much funding to go with your idea, to grow a business or to start a business. But you know, personally, on behalf of the board, we certainly appreciate your efforts, your determination. To me, it was just too important to just, you know, pass them out without a chance to say a few words. And this is recorded, it goes on cable. Maybe, Rick, you can focus on the recipients when they come up. You want to be proud to share it with your friends, your family, and let people know. You not only have an idea, now you have a plan. And as I looked over your applications, you all came from a variety of places, with a variety of experiences and some very formal training already. Hopefully this has helped add a piece to what will become your success. We wish you all the best. And we'll act as soon as we can. I have to get back with the grant writers and consultants, and we will make some decisions about how that gets distributed. But tonight you're a winner, and you should feel pretty good about that. So, on the refrigerator when you get home, all right? That's what we do. Karen, please join me. You've played too important a role here. I don't plan on that, but thank you. So, as I said, we're going to grab you on cable. These are broadcast on Mondays. You can DVR it. It may feel anything in the bell curve of life to you, but you know what? It should feel good. You've accomplished something others have only thought about doing. You did it, and that's a good thing. And again, congratulations. These are just alphabetical. First, Dwayne Bast. Congratulations, Dwayne. Good luck to you. Deidre Berman. I don't know why I jumped over the wrong job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Turn around. Yeah.
Elizabeth DeLucas. Congratulations and good luck. And probably should be. There we go. We get our seat.
You can't tell
Next round.
who the politicians are and who the workers are. You can tell that by the way they look at the camera.
Elliot Doherty. Congratulations. Good luck, Elliot. We should be announcing their business. There we go. Now the model's set. We should be announcing their businesses too, probably, but. Sorry. The humidity. Humidity. Jordan Buck. Jordan's saying, man, that B comes before. I knew that before class. Congratulations. Good luck to you. Nicholas Dubé. I'm going to squeeze them. All right. Step one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brian Fry. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
Aaron Fry. Good luck. Victoria Jablonski. I remember yours. The pies caught my eye day one. Congratulations. Good luck, Victoria.
Thank you.
Michael Lemieux.
Michael couldn't make it this evening.
Okay.
I'll take this.
Sure.
That's fine.
Second round of handshakes.
Jay Lesage. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Seems like we just talked the other day.
It does, doesn't it?
That's 1-5. Heather O'Neill. Congratulations. Good luck to you. We look forward to that expanding business. And James Ward. Woo! The class clown must be. Congratulations. Good luck, James.
Thank you.
And thank you.
I just want to say congratulations to all of you, and thank you for trying to work in this area and build up businesses here. And there will be openings here. You know, we're not here forever, so you know.
Okay, well, you've given a lot of evenings. Please feel free to go, start the plan, and make things happen. Hire those employees. Go get them. Good luck. Thank you for coming this evening. These folks did work very hard. That was one of our requirements that they made the commitment. Some of them, we have one individual in the group already has a bachelor's degree that really had a good sense of what it was going to take. But there was another commitment, and they did. So we're really pleased with the program. Now we see how these incubators go. Continuing with the agenda for the evening, if there is anyone who would like to address the board, we ask you to please do so. State your name, your address for the record, and we try to limit our time to about 5 minutes if we can.
Good evening. My name is Sean Darby. It's S-E-A-N Darby. I'm one of the, I have a partner named Mark Darby that co-owns Darby County North on Tom Miller Road. I'm here to take a few minutes of the board's valuable time this evening just to unfortunately give you a complaint about taxes. Recently I received a survey from the assessor's office asking me for what I thought was kind of proprietary information. They were asking for part of my tax returns, wanted to know what my square footage was, what my rent was, what sort of expenses I have maintaining the property when it comes to snow removal and labor and advertising and other things such as that. And I was kind of surprised at it because for the last 35 years that I've been an owner in the automobile business, I've never gotten a letter like this. It seemed overstepping when it comes to requesting information from a business owner. When I talked to the assessor over the phone in regards to it, he did not explain to me at the time that there's basically two ways of assessing. There's a comparative approach, which is most his income to valuation approach. And my discussion ensued with him. I said, well, what if I had, you see, he said he wanted to make sure he assessed everything fair. And I said, well, what if I had two separate buildings that would act exactly the same on this one lot from each other, the exact same square footage, and one was selling dollar store items and the other one was selling gold bars. And so the rent was different because maybe the guy selling gold bars could afford more rent, and as a landowner, I charged him more rent. Are you trying to tell me that you would assess those two buildings differently because one produced more income than the other? He goes, yes. I said, well, what if the buildings were empty and I wasn't making any money? Actually, I was losing money. And then he said, well, I said, would I not pay any taxes? He goes, oh, no, no. So obviously, what he would do was do a comparative approach at that time. And obviously, if there's a vacant building in town, you're aware that they still have to pay taxes. They're responsible for it. If they pay them or not, that's one thing. And I felt that was kind of unfair. And I expressed this to him. And he says, well, I will just have to guess at your assessment then, and or at other business owners' assessment if they don't supply me with this information. And their taxes may go up. Then I will have a line of businessmen at my desk with the documents that I have requested. And that just gave me a sickening feeling that someone that is employed in this town would speak that way to a business owner. And I understand that they have a right to assess someone that way, but you can't. I said, what? And also, I said in my conversation with him, I said, well, now that you've asked me to come up with this information, actually, I have a business called Long Rifle, and that rents to myself, which is Darby Hyundai North, which is the business that occupies that building. And I said, well, what if, with this discussion that we've had now, that I just realized that maybe I'm not charging myself enough rent. Maybe now that I'm doing this research, I find that my expenses are higher than what I'm collecting on rent. And I said, I presume my taxes would go down. He goes, oh no, that wouldn't happen. I don't know about that. So it was shocking to me. So I added up my property tax and my school tax in town. It's $27,000. My partner, Mark Garvey, and I own 3 other businesses in Queensbury on a main drag called Quaker Road, not on like Route 3 like you have here. They're all assessed at about $1 million. One of them is a body shop, and the other 2 are car dealerships. The body shop's 10,000 square feet. The other 2 businesses are 14,000 square feet. They're assessed at about $1 million each. One's on an acre property, and the other 2 are on a 4-acre and a 7-acre parcel. I'm on a 4-acre parcel here, and I'm only 8,600 square feet. The taxes for those 3 businesses in Queensbury are $5, $8, and $12,000 less than I pay here. This is my 8th year in town. This is my 35th year in this business as an owner. I have 26 employees. My payroll for the year is $1,352,000. I contribute about $100,000 a year to Social Security, Medicaid, and all that other. With the stuff that I sell, I collect over $1 million in sales tax a year. That, of course, goes to the state. Half that goes to the county, and if I understand things correctly, half of what the county gets given to the town. Or it was explained to me like that, but maybe the percentages are wrong. How much do you get of the sales tax?
We've tried to calculate that a lot of times, and it's such a small amount, we usually stop because it gets discouraging.
It's 7%.
You get 7% versus.
It's actually less than 7% that we collect.
So it would
The
be
city gets
$70,000.
the city gets 23%.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, those
My
numbers-
sales tax money, you could safely say that you get 70,000 of it, or close to it. I just wanna play with a number tonight. I'm just throwing it out there.
I think that'd be fine.
Okay, just for discussion. And
And you are aware, sir, that of the, you know, of the numbers that you were using for, you know, taxes that you pay,
yes,
okay? The amount of tax that you pay in the town of Plattsburgh to the town of Plattsburgh is a very small amount of that figure.
oh, I understand that, but
Those
you obviously-
taxes are primarily made up of the county tax and school tax, right?
Yes, there's school tax. I was saying what I pay in total taxes, the property tax and the school tax. That was $27,000 a year. My three other businesses pay $5,000, $8,000, and $12,000 less a year. And one of them is almost double in square footage. So I just felt that it was upsetting to me. I felt you should know that. You're responsible for your employees and what they say to business owners. And I thought that this income to valuation approach is unfair versus a comparative approach. And if you have an empty building in this town, which is a business, you have to use the comparative approach because there's no income there. You're still gonna tax the person that owns the building. If he is renting it out or running his own business, or if it's empty, he's still responsible, so. So I basically felt that you should know that, and felt that someone that does contribute to the town, I mean, but my 26 employees that are out there spending money, they're paying taxes, and there's other businesses that my business obviously hires to do things, and we touch a lot of, we affect the business of a lot of other associated businesses, so I basically am, felt that you should be aware of that, and I will comply with this survey and give them my lease, but begrudgingly, I think it's very intrusive. It's really screams of tyranny, to be honest. That's very upsetting that you need this information to assess what my building's worth. It was built about 8 years ago, and it cost me about $1 million to build it then. And that's what my assessment is. I'm assessed 100% here, and the other town that I own businesses, I'm assessed at 80%, I believe. So. I just don't want you to be turned into a Taxburg versus Plattsburgh. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I appreciate your service. It means a lot to me that you serve. I know you don't do it for the money. It's a thankless job, and I appreciate all the time that you've taken from your home and your family to be here.
Thank you for coming this
Good
evening
evening.
as well.
Thank you.
Sure. Appreciate it. Anyone else?
You know, I gotta say something too.
Give us your name and address first.
Richard
please.
Mudd. That's M-U-D-D. And that's 54 Lehman Lane. Cumberland Head. I've been retired since 1998. And have not had an increase in salary since 1998. As most retirees don't. My property was reassessed this year by $88,000. When I talked to the assessor about it, I talked to him twice, I've been in there twice. And the first time, he told me that property assessments here have not gone down. That really makes me question the integrity of that office. Considering the economy, the shape the economy is in, that he can sit there and say that. That's number one. So I had my house assessed and went back in for a second time. He tore that apart and again told me that property values here have not gone down. There's a house right next door to me, 2 doors down actually, was refinanced and reassessed at $100,000 less than what it was. 2 doors down. I have a neighbor of mine that's having to sell his house. He's retired because he can no longer afford to pay the taxes. During our conversation, because there's another comment he said that I want to share with you, because I was upset over this, and I'm still upset over it. And I evaluate everything just like everyone else does in business. I came from the business world, so I have an analytical background to take a look at things. And looking down the road, there's going to come a day, if things continue at the pace it's going right now, I'm not going to be able to afford to live there either. I pay cash for that house. I have no mortgage. I have a serious problem with the fact that people work all their life and can't afford to pay the taxes to live in their home. I have a serious problem with that. There's a lot of other issues that I have a serious problem with when it comes to the tax thing. And I'm not going to take up your time because I'm going to try to put that in writing, and I'm going to try to take part in an organization that I have joined that has to do with taxes. Because I'm going to fight this. I like to work with people, but I'm going to take a stand because I just don't think it's right. An $88,000 increase is a lot. Whether you guys can do anything about it, I have no idea. I haven't been involved in government, but I'm going to get involved. Because I have reached the point where it's either them or it's me. That's the way it looks. Now, he told me, sitting there, he said, what you have here is you have taxation without representation. So I thought about that for a while, and I digested it, and I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what it is. Well, I'm going to take a stand because I want representation. And I asked you, you don't have to answer in front of the camera, but I asked you, do you think it's fair for anyone that's worked their entire life, can afford to buy a nice home and live in the home, but it reaches a point where you can't afford to stay in the home because you can't afford the tax? Do you think that's fair? I don't. And that's my stance. So, I appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Resolution, we better let Ricky get to his purpose. Resolution 254, abstract 9A.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 9A-12, 1858 to 1965 for $90,335.53, and abstract 9A-12, 365 to 387 prepays in the amount of $930,905.76 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renadette, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoyne, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood? Martin Manek?
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 255, Building Maintenance and Safety Committee Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Art Rowe, Building and Maintenance Supervisor for the month of August 2012.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? One item I picked up on, just a quick personal comment, is report on the Halsey Court work. I don't know if you've been by since it's been done. Phase one, I call it. I was out there yesterday for the rededication. It really came out quite nice, the way they set it up, the use of the pavers. The department does good work, and we did thank Mr. Linney. I know, Marty, you got involved in that, for his generosity in working with us to help grant a little more space, actually granted more space than we were even able to use, just because of it was in the ground and so on. But it came out nice. We had a nice event, and I think now people know there's a monument there, and that's a good thing. So, always did a good job. Anyone have any other thoughts? A roll call.
Thomas Woods,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Planning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Phil Von Bargen, Planning and Engineering Department Head for the month of September 2012.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Lemoy, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 257, Tamber Shepherd, resignation from the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Department.
Whereas Tamber Shepherd, clerk typist for the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Department, has announced her intent to resign effective September 7, 2012. Now therefore be resolved that with the appreciation for her service to the Town of Plattsburgh, the Town Board accept Ms. Shepherd's letter of resignation. And it be further resolved that the supervisor, on behalf of the Town Board, send a letter of appreciation to Mrs. Shepherd, thanking her for her service to the town. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Phil Von Bargen, Planning Department Manager, the Budget Officer, and also a copy be put in Mrs. Shepherd's personnel file.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renadette, second. Mr. Wood, any discussion?
Yes, I think that she's been a fantastic employee. I hate to see her go because she's been a morale booster. She pitches in with just about anything that needs to be done, and she's done a great job in her position. And I know that she's going because she has other opportunities, and I think that's good also. I just want to say that we're going to miss her.
Thank you, John. I'm sure you reflect everyone's view on that. Anyone else?
And she probably doesn't have to bring those cookies in.
We're still negotiating for the
Negotiating.
suites on at least a monthly basis, if not weekly. Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 258, salt purchase order for 2012 to 2013.
Resolved to receive and place on file a letter dated August 28, 2012, from James Wood, Highway Superintendent, requesting permission to purchase 2,300 tons of highway road salt to be used by the Town of Plattsburgh Highway Department pursuant to New York State Office of General Services Standard and Purchase Group Contract Number C18391 in the amount not to exceed $145,360. And it be further resolved that the Town Board does hereby grant permission to James Wood to order said salt, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any related documents required to the purchase. It is further resolved that the payments for said purchase will be made payable from the 2011-2012 highway budget account DA 51142-14200 and DA 5148-4200. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer and to the highway superintendent.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Lemoy, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
I just wanted to, I talked to Jim briefly this morning, and he's indicated that He does have some left over because of the mild winter we had. The salt is at $2 a ton less than it was last year. So it was his recommendation that we buy the same amount as we bought last year. Hoping that we don't see a heavy usage for this winter, probably another mild winter, which would give him the impetus to go for less purchase next year. But he made a really strong case for keeping the amount of salt the same as the purchase was for last year. I think it was very well taken, and I think the board should authorize this purchase.
Thank you, makes sense. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. We are at the end of the agenda. And if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Renadette, any discussion?
Do we have a need to go into executive session?
None that I have.
Okay.
Time to
There was
vote.
a note.
Yep, there are some bubbling issues.
Okay.
We'll hold on to them a little bit longer. We're gonna get around them a little more in the next day or two. Anything else? Roll call?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, we'll stay adjourned at 7:06 PM. Just add a couple of off-camera 2 cents to your concerns. I got pretty involved with the group also, maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Good.
And
a year ago last April.
and the
I got
problem,
I got a year and a half on this.
my view and opinion, that's why I'm not talking up there, because I may not be the boss.
This assessment.
What I've learned,
Real
because I'm a homeowner taxpayer.
I wanna find out what his credentials are, because my previous.
My concern is
Everybody knows,
the problem may not be able to be
National
managed
Association, State
locally
Association,
with all
Fraser,
the
Fannie Mae,
mandates in
Jimmy,
this
See, I believe that.
VA.
Let me tell you something.
If he's gonna assess, he's gotta
There's a
assess
meeting
the
coming
same
up,
way
and
everybody.
I'm
And
gonna
to do what he did,
ask
this
the
guy,
Congress to speak.
is unconscionable.
I think we're wasting our time
For
here.
what it's worth, Chandler, I'm not going to respond because I don't.
I think we
No,
need to be
no,
all
that's all right, I just,
We've got garbage.
A few years ago,
But
one of the things I learned, Teresa
Well,
Sayward,
the
I
thing
always
is-
thought was really sharp.
what I did was I
Good,
recommended.
and I'm not saying,
he go
I think
to a
that's
realtor
anybody or Janet, but
compare the
she
market
had
analysis, which compares all
brought
the sales.
forward, and I don't know where it
of
ended up.
properties in that
And
neighborhood.
I don't even know if it got
That's
to
the
the
way you
floor,
do
the way
assessment.
Albany works, God knows, how things
It's
work.
not the way you do an
But the
appraisal.
solution in the way
Appraisal
that
is three
she
approaches
saw
to
we
value.
could get
And I was
at
appraiser for a long time.
exactly
so I
what you
know
said.
three
It's not the
appraisals
issue
are.
of, you gotta pay taxes, you
Man of
you
many
live in a
talents.
big
this
house,
guy.
you're a big
Bernie, I don't
building.
have.
Oh, I know, no, let me just
All right.
finish a second, so I want you to have a piece of information
That I
that
was
you can
there
sell.
for a long
Right,
time.
thanks.
What she looked
I
at
know
is
what I'm talking
exactly
about.
what you were
This guy
saying,
does not.
it's the issue
And if he's
of,
doing it that way, that
because
he's
my
opening
neighbor
the town
builds a
board
$1
up
million
to a lawsuit,
house, my
you're
house
not
is
gonna
going
wanna
idle.
stand.
I
because
bought
it's
my
gonna end up
house
being a
20 years ago, I
class
paid
action
for it, it was worth X.
Because
has
if the
grown
assessments are
faster
going up,
than
for
I
instance,
have.
Just in Champlain
And,
Park,
and every
and he's just
time
assessing Champlain
there's
Park
this
within
change,
Cumberland Head,
my property that's kind of my
Can't do
stagnant
that.
base, if you will,
Well, he has to do
changes
the whole
right under
town.
my nose.
that's right.
But he can't do the whole town all at the
And
same
I
time.
got involved in it, and
Damn
then
well
I
better do
just
the
got
whole
crazy.
thing.
Well,
Here's
he
what
just
happened to
wanted-
me,
he
just
did mine
just so you know.
But
There's a little bit
what
more.
What
I
I'm saying is,
right there.
he can't use.
Well,
the
and that's
approach to
okay.
value, which is an appraisal.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, but to the point you just
Versus
made,
Yeah.
okay?
compared to.
Here's what
You
it was.
have to use a similar.
When I bought my
like
house, I
property
paid
for assessment
$406,000
purposes.
for it.
If you want to
Selling
take
it.
another
Like I
dealership,
said, I paid
that's a
cash for it.
similar square footage, has a similar body shop. has a
That's my
similar-
investment.
Well,
I'd rather,
Nice
Has a
house, good
similar
for you.
sa-
I've got friends
No, I want him to
that
hear
bought
that.
house
too.
notes, pay no
All right.
tax at all.
Because what I'm
I
saying
got
is,
friends that live in motorhomes that.
this
pay no
assessor,
Yeah,
tax.
and that's
I
why.
don't know who he
a lot
is,
of
I've
them-
never met
But
him.
I'm penalized because I
Yeah.
live in
Yeah.
this home,
But
okay?
If you had property in the city.
But
Their
used to be in the
value of what
city.
they own and what they're driving around and riding around is the same as what I
I
got
sold
in
all
my
my
house.
property in the
But
city years
they
ago.
pay no taxes.
But what
But
I'm
when I
saying
bought this
to
house,
you is,
and I blame myself, I kick myself
you
every day
can't
for
use
this.
separate approaches to value if
Because I know
you're
better.
gonna assess. You have to use a similar and like.
I paid $420,000 because we bought it.
Garvey's right. If he
Everything,
wants
the
to-
contents,
and he shouldn't
everything.
have to give
It
any
wasn't
income
the price
to
of
this
the house.
assessor. That assessor,
We bought
based, his
everything.
assessment has to be based on
similar like which has an empty house and a shell would have been different.
Right,
That's fine,
now,
there's no problem.
the person that sold the house was a Canadian,
Income
he
approach
said,
for
refused
Have we
to
sent
separate it.
But see, I think if we have an income approach, he has to do it for.
After I got in, I
Yes,
came
he
over here
does.
to the tax
He
people,
was
that
gonna do
time
income
Jackie
approach
was in
for
the
her,
office.
he needs to do income approach for-
But you can't do
I
an
explained
income,
it.
you can't do an income approach.
She made one
for assessing
recommendation,
purposes.
and I had an appointment with a
You can
lawyer
do
to talk
it
to the
for-
lawyer.
You're positive of that.
Yes, you
The lawyer that
cannot.
actually
You-
closed the
if you
house. Now, I
do,
wasn't here when
if
it
you
closed, all I
do, then
did
you
is
have
send
to
the money.
do
and it was
Everybody
done.
in
This
that
is what,
approach.
this is what I'm saying.
So,
If he.
No,
anyway,
the
uh,
single family duplexes.
She
you
said,
have
why
to
don't you do an
on
inventory
income approach. If he's
and
gonna do
separate it
income
all
approach
out,
on one
and we'll
commercial,
take it from there.
Yes.
Everything. And if it's a
So,
duplex, a
I thought,
triplex.
okay, that's
or
one
whatever.
option.
If it's income
I go
producing
talk to the
property,
lawyer,
That's right. If
lawyer
it's income
said,
producing
don't do
property.
that,
And he is
because
not privy
in a
to
number
the
of
income
years,
of her,
the
my
value of the
income,
house
your
will catch
income, or
up
your
to,
income. And he should not be privy.
what you paid for it.
Now, if you.
Because it's gonna cost you more with lawyer fees and everything else to go the other way.
If you did the income approach.
So I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell do I-
Anybody
what am I
who
gonna do?
made money.
So I let it go.
Whatever.
Now, they left the assessment, it was raised, I think, some, but they left it where it was, which was 330, I think 330 or 340 something, whatever it
Now,
was.
they could have a different approach.
those
So-
would be residential
But the
properties.
problem is, if you're gonna do an
And
assessment,
it's,
you need this.
and my taxes are going up each year.
And the standardized approach,
But
if
then-
it's been accepted nationwide,
The economy has been in the toilet.
that's absolutely.
I don't know
As
if
an
it's
retiree,
And to
In all my
ask
years of
somebody what
college,
his
yeah.
income is, and,
I haven't had a
and
salary.
what you, hey,
Are
do
you-
your job, that's what you're
I
paid for.
fear-
Go
Wouldn't
out
he have
and
to
take a
show,
take
wouldn't he
rate.
have
figured
to
it's
show
going
his
to
tax
continue the way it's
return, show
going.
his income?
I'm gonna be like my
I mean,
neighbors.
excuse
They're
me,
gonna have to-
I don't think so.
That's personal market, and then
But
compare it
it isn't
to.
just you.
Well, that's
It's
the
my
way we've done it.
mother-in-law
Yeah.
is 82,
Is that
sits on a
right?
hill. No, I don't think it is.
But I'm sure.
The
But then I
program that
wasn't
was
privy to
proposed,
everything
it never
back
got
then.
you yet. And I don't remember all the
That's all I
details,
can
but it
say.
was titled the Good Neighbor,
He answers to you, and ultimately
Good
he
Neighbor
answers us.
Clause.
Right.
So,
Where,
you know, before it gets down the
Because
road.
my neighbors
somebody's gonna have
did
to go
things that under today's standards raises my
say,
value,
hey, wait a minute.
that's not being a good neighbor. I mean, I don't like those neighbors
You're not
coming
making
in,
friends and
putting a
influence
lot of
people.
valuable
It's not
property
a
around
friend.
me and excluding my assessment. Be a good
Right.
neighbor.
Which
My
my tax
property
dollars,
value
they're
won't
gonna defend a
change
lawsuit
until my
that I'm gonna
property is
be a
sold.
party to, if you get what I'm saying.
I buy
One-
one
so
thing,
you
goes
know,
on,
reason now-
he's now about,
That's
I bought
absolutely
$300,000
right.
house 30 years later.
And the thing
Yeah,
about
I
it,
got about
100,000,
10
no.
around
I still bought a
But
$300,000
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but-
yeah, the
but-
government
but-
loves
And
that,
at some
and they're
point,
not
Have I
when
responsible.
the
ever been
person
unreasonable?
becomes retired, becomes
Have I
a
ever
fixed
been
income, at age
unreasonable?
70,
Have
get
I
a
ever said
benchmark.
something that wasn't-
Your assessment is froze. Will not change until that property
You know what I'm
is sold.
saying? You know,
And
No,
if
but
it's
with
double
that, I
the
get the
value,
point that
the new buyer knows
we weren't aware
it,
of
and
it,
they're now up to
and
that assessment.
obviously,
But that's not set up.
you know, you're
that way.
bringing
No, but that's the
that's
law
good.
that she was talking
We need
about
to,
proposing. I said, my
do some
God,
research,
that
we
makes
need to
so
get
much
back
sense.
to him.
That
and-
covers everybody fairly. Find the age, find the criteria, you retire, you're 70, let's
Yeah, I
say
think
Social
so.
Security.
Well, either that or
Freeze it until it's
or
sold.
some way be tied to
it's not
income,
an income property.
that it can't,
I don't know,
that it can't
I
exceed a certain
don't, I'm
percentage.
not even sure if that's fair, but yeah, but do
I don't
something.
mind- I don't mind
You know,
paying.
do something.
I don't
That
mind
just gives you
paying my
my-
fair share as long as I know that I'm paying my fair share, but
Yes,
here's
because
what
it's
bothers
a
me about
CMA
that,
and it's
Marty.
public record.
And those are.
I've got a neighbor of mine,
Yes, they
her
are.
husband died last year.
I'm gonna argue my assessment, and I know you've been through this.
Now,
Oh, I
she lives in a big house, I mean, that's a
I
big
went out,
house.
that's
In a
similar
small
properties
claims
too.
court, which you can do.
But now, that's
If
one
you don't get
person
what you
paying
want,
that tax burden.
assessment review.
Well, here,
Not two,
Small
that's
claims
one.
court. I'm
Same
gonna
as
go
if
through
something happened, I've got
Run away.
our problem, if that happened to me,
He said,
and my wife is
You-
left
you
with a
have no
burden, she,
For
she,
sale sign goes
she
out.
couldn't stay there.
Oh, I hear you, it's terrible.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
is that right? That we go off the
That's
we
wrong.
worked,
You're totally wrong.
and-
Never mind the system.
And some of
but
the
here-
crazy
but-
things Brian's I didn't want to go there, because there's so many individuals, but I think your
Sales
point
value, he said,
of
is
how
remaining constant.
we need it at a state level to enable
Dozens
the
of
property value at some benchmark, a retirement benchmark, an age benchmark. I don't want too many criteria, because then you're creating holes. in pro-
I can go to
Very
the bank,
simple,
look at
you're
their
retired,
rates.
you're
I
70,
just got a call
how much,
today.
you know,
If
I mean,
want
how
I
many
think
more?
70 is
Maybe that's a
is
magic
too old.
number.
Well,
Maybe it
I
is.
think it is. I think
Maybe it's 75, I don't know.
No, I think that,
So the banks are.
I think it
going
needs to be
along
a an earlier age than that.
But people are living longer too, which is another part of the problem. They've got more time now that the gap,
But you know what, but
It's
here's,
growing.
but Vern,
It's still pretty good in Plattsburgh compared to other areas.
the people I just talked about, I've got friends that don't pay any, nothing.
and somebody ought to get after it. Warren
To me,
Buffett
well, wait,
publicly says his secretary pays more tax than him. There's something wrong with this system.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. But to me, every person, every working person should be obligated to the school system. Not just, not homeowners.
Yeah,
You got some homes that got 4 and 5, 6 people living in them.
property owners, 'cause you may not have a house seat, you have a property.
Right.
You know, the guy that owns the apartment place, that's
Right.
right. But I guess I just wanted to encourage you, you hit a nerve with me, with the idea with the person who's retired. They're on a fixed income, they've spent their life, they paid their bills, they have a nice home, they should be able to stay there. And I don't think you have them pay nothing, but just tell me, I don't care if it's 65, whatever it is, that this is what it's going to be now until I sell or I die and somebody sells my property. Now I'm planning on I'm getting punished for staying alive.
Right.
I agree with you, but it's gotta change at the state level. And Teresa Saylor had
No,
a
I
great program.
believe that, but
Teresa's
it's
a
not
good
gonna
leader.
happen right here.
And Janet maybe, I'm sure Janet's aware of that. And what I took from those meetings
Who's
was
gonna
it was a
talk to
good
you?
neighbor. Call Janet. Janet would know, Janet
Janet.
Duper. Call Janet and tell her that you and I were chatting, and I remembered, we talked about that a few years ago, and Teresa, I think, was promoting it. It was a good neighbor program to help control assessment. Actually, I think that was really controlling the tax itself, because you can even keep the assessment the same when your tax obligations can go up. But it made just so much sense, and it eliminated that problem of seniors being forced out of the home
When I went
that they
around
own.
campaigning this last time.
I mean, you think of where
I
do
should
I
go.
go when
That
I'm
don't pay
home?
taxes. My neighbor doesn't pay taxes.
But when I did.
Doesn't make enough money.
There are a lot of, well, she doesn't make enough, really doesn't make enough, she'll even get money because she didn't make enough. It's not even a matter of paying, there are people that don't.
No, she
pay.
doesn't.
Yeah, let me tell you something, I have
Earned
problems.
income
She
tax.
doesn't
See, I have
pay
problems.
school,
I have
no,
problems.
I don't
she's
want,
retired.
I don't want a handout.
It's not a political year.
Earned it.
I had a good job,
So you
I worked
should know that.
all my life, I paid my bills, I
He
put
didn't know it.
2
He
kids
was
through
voting
college.
against
See, and I voted for him, just
no
because
one
I
voted
was
against
pretty
him.
upstanding, but now I don't.
I did all that.
But
On
you
the
should
other
be
hand,
able,
you're
every
talking about
retired
the
person,
budget.
I don't care what their status is, should be able to get to a point, and maybe it's the
Part
assessment
is my
that
concern. Now, that may not be
maybe it's the
right.
tax
I-
obligation.
I totally
But that
agree.
holds
have
for the
not
balance of my
put
life,
money in
hopefully, to prevent me from being pushed out, but at least
That need to be
those
done
years before,
because
I know where it's gonna
here
cap.
We have
And,
fixed.
and you do, I think
We have
everybody,
paid the
most
salaries.
people who
We have
retire, they
paid
got a
the
plan.
retirement. We have
But
paid
damn
all
it, they
things
live,
that
and
we
10,
pay.
15 years later, the
Except
plans
we
no
have
good
put
anymore.
aside to
Well,
right?
paint a.
But
Well,
Bernie,
here's
there's
what
a
I'm not
problem
paying
with
this
that
money.
as
Put
well.
a new.
When I was in
Put a new
business,
lift
the
station in,
company I worked
to
for,
put a new.
I had to do
To put new.
I had to do a financial
pipes in
plan,
stuff.
a 5-year
Granted,
plan,
that's
every
only
single
part of
year.
the budget, and
I know how to
all
analyze
goes
stuff,
for
okay?
those who have water and
I
sewer.
do that for
But
myself.
because we haven't done
Yeah,
that,
you seem like a sharp
I
man.
think we need to.
The president,
set the
and
town
this is
on
my
a-
personal
on a
opinion,
fiscal
you may be a
policy that will
Democrat,
protect-
I'm an
protect
independent.
people in the future.
And the
That's
president that
my-
we have in
the
office
whole
right now, I
argument-
think is the biggest moron I've ever seen in my entire life.
If you were
And he has
saying,
hurt more
okay,
people
we have
than anyone
useful life
that I can
of
think
8
of in
years
my
left
life,
on the water
other than Hitler.
or Whatever.
But I'll disagree with you, but not tonight.
Okay, but that's okay, that's all right, that's your prerogative. But here's my
Therefore,
point,
that normally has a 20-year useful life. We don't have
what we're paying for
enough
fuel prices in this
money
country
right now to replace that.
has
If we put
driven everything up.
1/8
You
of
think
that
that's not
away,
taking a
we
bite out of
still wouldn't
retirees?
have enough money.
Absolutely.
It's still in retirees.
Exactly.
Look what the
Because you've got
pharmaceutical
12 years
companies
to
are
have.
doing to the cost of drugs.
Same thing.
Okay.
Sinful.
So you say, okay,
Insurance companies
as
are the
of
only
today, we're
unregulated
putting away
organization out there.
1/8
Attorneys and insurance
of
rule
what
the plan.
that's gonna be. So
Let's not
each
go
town
there.
road
You
can
got
now
hold
have
of something to me
8/20s
that makes a lot of sense, and
for
and
this, for
Yeah,
there was some real effort to look at
whatever
that.
it is.
It's a
I
single
have to
item
sit
of, let's just take
down.
this piece of the
That
story.
we're gonna have to
And
buy.
for
But you would
those
have
who
that money
are
stuck away
retired and seniors,
without having to
let's
raise
get a
the
cap
minimum
on the
tax.
assessment.
I'd
I would
like
go
to see
as
the
far as
future.
to
And
say,
that's,
cap the
that's,
tax.
okay.
I'm just
but
gonna
you
make
gotta
up the
start-
So
numbers.
then what do you
Retired
do
and I
when you
said,
have
I wanna start
mostly seniors and you have to put in a new infrastructure? where do you get your money from?
You have the same problem a lot of small towns are having.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know, if
But
you
that-
start to
that's
tax,
not
I mean, I'm a
reason.
senior, and I don't want my taxes to
It's
go up,
not a
but
reason to push the seniors out of their homes. Let's just fix that.
Everybody wants to lower
Even taxing the
taxes.
seniors, they don't have the money, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You gotta cap it.
because everything we have in our town is on assessed valuation.
Yeah.
So if you need to put in streetlights, you go to the assessed valuation and boom, you tax them.
If we took,
I'm just using that as an example.
if we took and were able to freeze, I'm gonna be more radical than you. I wanna freeze that amount for retired seniors at some point. I'm thinking 70 because we're living a lot longer. And you got more time to plan, that at that age, you see it coming, you better plan, that's gonna be the payment to death or to the point. But then when you sell in 5 years, you sell in 10 years, that property goes back to full value
Right.
until the owner becomes a retired senior. There won't be that many, with the people that sell anyway, you get the revenue, but it controls that piece of the life. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, if you're real serious, talk to Janet,
Live there until I die if I
and
can.
she might remember, and I know she and Teresa were working on it, there was a circuit breaker in there, and I don't have enough memory right now to really get the details, but it was a plan that made a lot of sense, and it addressed just that piece of it. You know what happens sometimes we go at the politicians with this? Nothing less. If we go and say, okay, could we do this? Let's look at this particular piece.
Well, I don't
It's
have
gotta
mind sitting
change.
down negotiating
It's gotta
and,
change.
and discussing ideas of how to make things happen.
But it's gotta change outside of the town, though. I mean, I don't know the ramifications for the town of Plattsburgh. It's a shell game. You're gonna take it from here and put it there. Eventually, you're gonna get what you need to maintain the infrastructure. And infrastructure is something
It's
I'm scared
huge.
as hell about, that it won't be sustainable. I mean, we sell water at $1.41 a joke.
So as soon as you change the price of water, that puts an
But
added
the tax
tax
this man is talking about is primarily the schools and the county, the land.
Right.
The other taxes aren't killing us. They're manageable. If you can't manage those services,
Well, the
I'm
county,
not have a
the
problem.
I'm
60%
working up
of the
an
county
analysis.
is Medicaid,
Your school-
70% can Medicaid.
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Those are the two killers. I'm not worried about my lights and my
She
roads.
actually has a decrease.
Yeah, but you might be.
Losing a part of our community that we don't want to lose. I want to keep the seniors here. They're spending money. They're buying things.
Not if they don't have any, that's a problem.
That's why I want to control some of that.
But I ain't gonna
But it's
have.
got to happen at a state level. And it's like Debbie's saying, the county, you know, the way that we take care of, Medicaid is the
That's
killer on that.
huge, huge. You can't do anything about
I mean,
that.
I want to call an armed guard to go home, and what they're concerned about, we can't do anything about, and I feel the same way.
And the county can't do anything about it either. That's a state mandate.
Bernie, let me tell you something.
But good for you, go get it.
And I want to share this with you.
To me, I think, when I, the comment I made a minute ago, the burden of responsibility for the school tax. School tax is the killer.
And you know where that
I thought we
is.
had to take it in.
Everybody.
Wasn't that
Not
the rule?
just the
You
whole.
just can't write anything for 10 years.
And I think the way they have that, huh?
I don't disagree.
And the way they-
Everybody pays school taxes, because if you have a rental property, you factor it into the rent, and so the renter is paying it as well.
Here's what I'm saying.
Well, that's right.
If you're a good businessman.
I've got friends of mine that big into auto racing.
Yeah, when I knew a lot of,
They don't have a big home, they have a real cheap home they live in, because all their money's spent on racing. I spent my money on my house. That's what we like. But I'm
Are you
penalized.
gonna do it?
Property tax,
Yeah,
it's a property
I'm
tax.
penalized
It's
for
not
it.
a wealth tax, it's a
I know.
property tax.
Oh, God. You mean you're gonna be walking around like this?
I got people that live on boats, I got people that live in motorhomes.
And I'm gonna say this, I'm going out the back door, because I'm not gonna take a lick. That's part of what Brian's trying to get at, because it isn't just, I mean, he's had people whose taxes he's been able to reduce because they let him take a look at what's on the inside. There are a lot of people here who put up a nice front.
See, he wanted to do that, and I wanna tell you something, the way I felt that day, I don't trust the government. And I told him that, I don't
That's
trust the
very good to
government.
have distrust of government.
I understand,
Huh?
yeah.
It's good to have distrust of
I
government.
understand that, but I've also, I mean, the other thing that happens when you don't really get at, is this business profitable? is this a profitable property by looking more closely at it? All you do is say, well, everything goes up 10% this year, everything goes up 5% this year.
I don't even have a garage on my house.
It's crazy.
I don't have central heating. I don't have central
You
air.
gotta sniff it out,
I mean,
you know? But I mean, the assessor needs to,
How can this happen?
for the assessor to sit back at a desk and just, you know, say, well, everything should.
Arbitrarily off the top of
That's
their
wrong.
head. Yeah.
And he's good about trying to get out.
Well, I know what he did. He took the sales price, but he doesn't know the details. What do you talk to me about?
There's a real problem there with this guy.
I mean, I tried to deal with that when it
And
happened.
I will, if I have to go head to head with him.
I'd like to think he did more than that, but like I said, I can't speak for him.
I can't speak for him.
I feel he does, he tries to, I know he tries to do a good job.
When he said though to me, this is taxation without representation. I sit back and I was thinking,
Yeah.
why would he make such a statement like that? Because it is true.
To be honest with you, it stopped being fun.
Well, I think sometimes
It got to be
government
based on
becomes the people, and the people are equally frustrated with how can I do about it? You know, I'm just the guy that executes what comes down to it. And that does
Well,
get
that's
frustrating.
true. I know that he's sitting in that chair. What his job is to look at the property assessments throughout this city and to do the best he can for the city. That's his job. I understand that.
Down.
I don't have a problem with that.
That's what I'm talking, that's
What I got a problem with is, in all fairness,
It may be,
You can't get in.
I think what happened to me this year is really a royal screw.
2 weeks.
I mean,
I don't know
that's
why
just,
you went down to 88.
We'll be seeing him for 2 weeks.
why, it went from,
That's
well,
what
because that's what the sale price of the house was.
They use that stuff.
Now, I'm stuck with that. I gotta pay taxes on this year.
Call Janet and see
I
what she
will.
She's
remembers.
very,
What's
she's
her last
very
name?
Janet's
amenable.
good.
What's her last name?
Dupree.
She's your assemblywoman, Janet
Oh, okay.
Dupree.
Janet Dupree. She was
And
in
the
the
stuff she and Teresa were working on, they had a couple of proposals that were extremely good. A good neighbor with a circuit breaker that held it until you sold it, so it didn't push.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do that. I'll let you know.
Throw me a, let me know. Throw me an email,
Okay.
okay? Thanks.
Thanks.